Ford has revealed that it will lose $5.5 billion on EVs this year, which means its losses will grow over the $4.7 billion it lost last year. Ford stock is worth less today than what it was worth 26 years ago. If you include inflation, that's been pretty devastating for long-term Ford investors. Today, Ford stock continued to go down. Why? Why is this happening? Well, it's happening because of what Ford just revealed, what their plans are. Ford are admitting that they are well behind. They're admitting they can't profit selling EVs. They're losing too much money manufacturing them. So they want to slow down their electric car plans and just sell hybrids. Hello, my friends. Welcome to the channel. I'm Sam Evans. You're watching the Electric Viking. Great to see you. Ford has delayed its electric pickup truck. Considering the most important vehicle Ford makes worldwide and the only vehicle that anyone actually thinks about when they think of Ford is the Ford F-150 or the F-250 or anyway, the Ford pickup trucks, the Ford Ranger. They're basically a pickup truck business now. They make no money from their other vehicles. If you consider that's their most important vehicle, and that's the vehicle they are now putting on hold, then you've got to be a little bit concerned. Ford said on Thursday it's delaying its plans for its new electric pickup truck. I believe that's an electric Ford Ranger and an upgraded version, a much better version of the Ford F-150 Lightning. And they're also delaying their three-row electric vehicles as well, amid their so-called, what they say is slowing demand for EVs. Meanwhile, they say they will offer hybrid versions of every gasoline-powered vehicle instead by the end of the decade. As the number 2 EV brand in the US, they're not anymore. Ford said this when it was actually incorrect. For the past 2 years, that's true, we are committed to scaling a profitable EV business. They lose a lot of money per car, that's for sure, using capital wisely and bringing to market the right gas, hybrid, and fully electric vehicles at the right time, said Jim Farley, CEO of Ford. Our breakthrough next generation EVs will be new from the ground up and fully software enabled, with ever improving digital experiences and a multitude of potential services. Now, why do they mention these breakthrough next generation EVs when they're saying that's exactly what they are pausing development on? They're actually slowing down their spending significantly. I mean, it's going to be a fraction of what they'd initially planned on. The automaker said it is postponing production at its under construction Blue Oval City plant in Tennessee from late 2025 to 2026. What does that mean? Well, Ford won't really be able to compete because even General Motors is now going to be ahead of them. General Motors have just released their Silverado electric pickup truck, and it is far superior to anything Ford makes by a mile. Its charging speed, which is the biggest problem with the F-150 Lightning, is more than twice as fast. 360 kilowatt charging speed. It has 440 miles of range. It has a mid-gate. It has features the Ford F-150 can only dream about. Equipment installation in the plant in Tennessee, say Ford, is being slowed down, and construction of the overall manufacturing campus will continue, but it will only be smaller than what was planned. The automaker previously said the Blue Oval City will have an annual capacity of 500,000 EVs and will employ 6,000 workers. Ford is also delaying, though, its production of three-row EV utilities at a facility in Canada from 2025 to 2027. So that's a 2-year delay. A Ford spokesperson said most workers in Oakville would be eligible to receive 70% of their pay while on layoff during the transition, and that it will work with Unitor to mitigate the impact the launch delay will have on its workforce. In other words, Ford will be paying thousands of staff 70% of their normal pay to do nothing for 2 years. That seems to be a pretty bizarre decision, if you ask me. Workers in Oakville were informed Thursday morning in a memo obtained by Automotive News. Workers were told Ford did extensive study into the possibility of extending edge crossover production there, but ultimately decided to begin the conversion to an EV plant to supply base constraints and emission requirements. But of course, they're saying that's delayed by 2 years. Farley said that Ford value our Canadian teammates and appreciate that this delay will have an impact on this excellent team. We are fully committed to manufacturing in Canada. I believe this decision will help us to build a profitably growing business for the long term. And there's the key word, profitability. Now, there are no Chinese EV manufacturers except BYD and obviously Tesla's factory, which are producing electric cars and selling them at a profit. And Ford last year lost around $35,000 on every electric car that it sold. The Unifor union told Reuters it was extremely disappointed in Ford's decision to delay the plant's transition. The union is requesting a meeting with management as soon as possible. The Oakville news comes 2 weeks after Unifor demanded answers, literally demanded them, of Ford after Bloomberg and Automotive News reported that the company planned to delay EV production there. Now, all the staff there were thinking, oh, we're getting to work. And then Ford's like, without telling them, somehow the media finds out they're not going to be working for 2 years, and the media tells them rather than Ford. That's odd. Ford said its Ohio assembly plant will still build a new commercial EV, with tooling installations set to begin in 2025. The company previously said the vehicle would come mid-decade. And now, well, maybe, 2028? Maybe? The delays come about 6 months after Ford announced it would push back $12 billion in EV spending, including delaying one of 2 joint venture battery plants it's planning in Kentucky. Now, when they say delay, does that mean cancelled? Does that mean we will make it in the future? The truth is, no one knows. It's just Ford's way of sort of preparing you for the possibility that factory or that battery factory may never exist. And it probably won't, considering Ford are more likely to build an EV battery factory making LFP batteries licensed from CATL than they are to build ternary batteries, which are manufactured in joint venture partnership with SK Innovation. The automaker expects its Model E EV unit to lose $5 billion to $5.5 billion this year. They lost $4.7 billion in 2023. And Ford said by the end of the decade, it expects to offer hybrid variants across its entire gasoline lineup in North America. In other words, instead of focusing on EVs, it's focusing on hybrids. Immediately after this information was released to the press, Ford stock continued to go down.